Hi gang, Rob here. It's the evening of December 2015, and this is a video I'm gonna make for you guys just to share one of those little things that happens to knife nuts like all of us. And I got to chew on this for a couple weeks, and it gave me an idea for a video. What's the one knife that if you lost it would cause you the most discomfort, the most consternation, the one that you'd obsess about the most? Well, it happened to me, and my answer is a bit of a surprise. I had a busy post office day, and it was getting late in the afternoon a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, I think I sealed up about, I don't know, 7 or 8 of these little USPS small flat rate boxes. And the knife that I use on my bench, I use to cut tape for every one of those boxes. And I got back and went to work in the shop the next morning and couldn't find this knife anywhere. And I'm looking everywhere on this bench. You know, I'm looking back here, I can't see it. I got, you know, this collection corner, I got epoxy, I got Strider scales that sort of didn't work out too well. I got lube to test, some Corby bolts for knife projects unknown. I got a little clock radio over here. I looked behind there, couldn't find it. I got this little tin here full of doodads, tools, gadgets that I use from time to time. One in there. Oh, I hate to show you this. Yeah, I even went through the garbage. Couldn't find this knife anywhere. Couldn't find it anywhere. In fact, I had to go up to the safe room and grab a backup, this little US made Bear Grylls sort of mini folding hunter. Used it at the bench for over a week. And I bet you, during the 2 weeks this knife was missing, I moved this sharp maker around, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and it never occurred to me that there was a void underneath the sharp maker. And that knife had slid underneath it. I thought it was gone forever. I was even saving eBay listings for this knife, knowing I was going to have to part with another 20 bucks to have my beloved bench knife back. I didn't know how much I loved it until it was gone. So stick around, we'll take a close look at it, and I'll explain why it is so invaluable to me. Yep, this is it, guys. This is my beloved Victorinox Serrated Spartan. This was a gift from one of my viewers and sharpening customers, a couple years ago. And you know, I opened the box and I looked at its tool implements, and frankly, I hadn't seen one of these before. I hadn't seen a Spartan with a serrated blade, and it was basically in new condition when I got it. And I just left it on the bench and started using it. Well, as some of you know who watch a lot of my videos, you know that I use my bench knife to trim tape when I mask off blades. That's what the pen blade gets used for. It's been rubbed along a lot of cutting edges of dull knives in its life. It's been sharpened a bunch of times. It's just a great length to do precision cutting with. This big old serrated blade, I didn't know how useful it would be. But if you've ever received a small flat rate box from me, you know that it comes with some of this genuine United States Postal Service priority mail tape. I've got one friend at the post office, my girlfriend Mo. She slips me a roll of this when I get low. They're about this big around when they're new. I don't have a dispenser, so I just cut them to length. And boy, does that serrated blade work well for that. Let's just take a look. Yep, oh no, I lost my end. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Works great. And let's see, what else do we have? We have the old can opener and small flathead screwdriver, which, oh, it's been used a little. Can you see the distortion in that tip of that screwdriver? Not only does it work well for small flathead screws, it also works on a lot of Phillips heads. I don't go looking for drivers, I just whip out the old Victorinox. And then there's the flat blade screwdriver. And I usually, it looks like it's about time for some new masking tape. This fits perfectly, especially when taped, for protection of the screw into Emerson pivot screws, believe it or not. Does a great job. And of course we've got one of the most invaluable tools on a Swiss Army knife, the awl or reamer. This I use whenever I open a new bottle of acetone. That's what punches my little squirt hole in the middle. Speaking of acetone, you might notice these scales are a little bit wacky. Yeah, just so you know, guys, nail polish remover will dissolve Victorinox scales. I found out this way. You know, there is absolutely nothing special about this knife. Nothing at all. It didn't even get its special spot on my shelf. It just went to work. And I use this knife more than any other knife that I own. I use it every single day. And when I reach for it, it needs to be there. And when it's not there, I'm just not the same. I was so glad that day I lifted up the sharp maker and out it popped from underneath the cover. And I didn't have to spend another $16.80 on eBay for a new one just like it. So no, the knife that caused me the most emotional distress when it was gone was not a Sebenza. It wasn't a Paramilitary 2. It wasn't a 940 with my logo on the blade. It was the lowly, pedestrian, mundane, and awesome Victorinox serrated Spartan. We sure are odd ducks, we knife guys. And I'm no less odd than any of you. That's all for this evening, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp. And this knife probably isn't. I think it's time for another visit to the sharpener. Merry Christmas, my friends. Talk to you soon.